I'm Eric Singer, Gazette.com, and this is Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, everything that is your source when it comes to Colorado Springs' own Colorado Springs Switchbacks. And joining me now, as always, Head Coach Steve Trittschuh. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, got to talk about the highlights and the lowlights.
Yeah.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about the lowlights when it comes to the recent game in Tulsa.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't one of our best games. It wasn't the best start we had. You know, the players will say that too. It's not just, you know, us watching the game. They didn't have a good game, and let's just put it that way. I don't know if we didn't deal with the heat and humidity that well. Mm-hmm. Tulsa came out; they were very physical with us.
Right.
We didn't react very well to that. But all in all, we were still in the game, and we did well to come back in the second half. We got an early goal through a penalty kick through Luke Vercoloni. And we had a couple of chances here and there, but we just couldn't break it down, and we dug ourselves too big of a hole. And
all right, let's go look at some of the
sure.
highlights to get a better feel for the game
Yeah,
itself.
so you know, I mean, one of the first plays of the games, and this is the way that Tulsa came out. I mean, that's a hard foul on Mike Seth there. Obviously, could have been a yellow card. So, but you know, that's one of the things we deal with in this league. But you know, that's how it was the first part of the game, and we just didn't react to it. I don't know if they intimidated us or we were tentative playing wise, but we just couldn't get going. We couldn't get that flow of the game. But then if you look at it, we did have a lot of the ball. We had a lot of possession, and we created some chances. We just didn't finish in the final third, and that's been one of our positives and one of our strengths in the last few weeks is finishing those chances off. And you know, we gave them a couple soft goals. The first goal, we just didn't get pressure on the ball, and there was a diagonal ball, and then they scored off a deflection. Second one was off a corner kick, which you know, is really it's not good for us, and
right.
we've given up too many restart goals through that. We've just got to be, you know, more committed to staying with our man and taking care of the ball. And then I mean, the third goal, it was like in the 93rd
right.
minute late, but we were pushing players forward. But still, we had three players back, and that was one versus three, and we still let a goal. So. Bad game. You know,
right.
we just have to hope we put this behind us and then go to Vancouver this next week and take care of it.
Now, the first half, disappointing. Second half, you started to pick up momentum. I mean, you got to look at some of the highlights and some of the positives from that.
No, I mean, I always do. I always take care of the positive, look at the positives, and you know, we did create some chances, and that's
right.
the thing. You know, not playing very well and still creating chances, that's a positive. But then in the second half, we changed tactically a little bit. I felt that they didn't have a whole lot in the middle in the center of midfield, so we took a player out of there and put him up top. So we basically went 4-4-2 and tried to play a little more direct and try and pin them in their end a little bit. And it worked. I mean, first 5 minutes we came out and we're putting some balls in the box and we got a penalty kick out of it. And then we were trying to push and we just couldn't get it. But and that's the way this game is. It's right. a crazy game at times, and you know, we're on a roll. We're scoring a lot of goals at home. But then you turn around and go away, and you got to take care of business, and we just didn't do that.
And speaking of taking care of business, they did take care of business at home.
Yeah.
They're cellar dwellers. They're a desperate team. They had everything to win, especially in front of their fans. Yeah. And on the flip side, you guys were on a roll and have been on a roll
right.
consistently.
And I've been telling the guys, I said, you know, we have a target on our back now. We were at top of the league, and teams are not going to take us lightly. And if we don't react to that, you know, they're going to take care of us. And we've got to start acting like, you know, we're one of the top teams of the league and coming out and having our game on the field. But you know, they took it to us a little bit, and we've got to change that around.
All right, this week, what are you focusing on?
Focused on getting our legs underneath us. This is our second in Vancouver on Wednesday, our second game this week, and then we're back on Saturday against Seattle. So it's really about getting our legs underneath us. I'm going to change a few players for Vancouver just to have some energy and some fresh legs on the field, and we'll see how that goes. I mean, you know, I told the guys that haven't been starting, this is your shot. You know, you got to show, and I've said before, we're going to take every player in this roster. They've got to add something to this game,
right.
and so. This is their shot. I'm hoping they'll come out with a lot of energy and play some good quality soccer.
All right, thank you, Coach, and we're going to be back with Coach in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to take a quick timeout. We're going to be back with two players who share a common history in addition to both playing, of course, for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. You don't want to miss it. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back as Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC continues.
Doing what we do for a living, we have to give that extra mile, even when you think you can't. Because not only are we taking care of people, but we're taking care of ourselves. At Centura, it is a culture of health. And as a group, we've brought that to the forefront to demonstrate to patients.
Meet Juliana's inspiring story at CenturaConnected.org.
Welcome back to Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, your definitive source for everything that is the Switchbacks. I'm your host, Eric Singer, Gazette.com, and I am proud to say a first here on the Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC show. We have two players who obviously play for the Switchbacks, but have a common history playing for other teams. First, Josh Phillips, thank you so much for being here, and Miguel Gonzalez. All right, let's talk about that common thread, that common history. Josh?
Yeah, so growing up in Olympia, there's two high schools that are pretty close within distance of each other, Yelm High School and Capital High School. Miguel played for Yelm, I played for Capital. Thinking back, those were always the games that both of us strived to win. Respected playing against Miguel, but when it came that week at school, everybody was talking about it. Josh, what are you going to do to shut down Miguel? Like, what's going to happen? Like, everybody in the school was excited about it. The city was excited about it. I know we were excited about it.
Well, Miguel, how excited were you about that? Because he's very excited about it, but what about you?
It was you know, like you mentioned, it was a big rivalry. They were known for being the better team. You know, they had the better players, but we always gave them a good game, and it was always a good game, you know. So we look forward to it.
So who won consistently?
I think they had the upper hand on us. I think they had more wins than we did. But, you know, we always put up a fight. That's what matters.
Was there anything on the field that you remember you two playing against one another, maybe one of those moments that you reflected back on as you were coming here today going, yeah, I remember that minute. I remember that moment as we were going against each other?
One thing that I can say is if you see Josh play now, you know, he's always physical. He's always ready to go and, you know, playing hard. And I remember that back in the day, you know, that wasn't the exception. He played more in the midfield, I think, but he was always, you know, winning balls in the air and always fighting. And, you know, that's one of the big things that I remember.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, to go off what Miguel said, he was one of those players that was crafty with his feet and always gave me a hard time to stay with him.
Right.
Because I was a little bit taller, a little lankier in high school.
Right.
And, I mean, he always gave me a challenge, and that's what I looked forward to. But what was cool is that it didn't just end in high school. We actually went on to play at two universities in the state of Washington, Seattle University with Miguel, and then Gonzaga University. And we got to play each other again for the next couple of years.
What happened there?
I don't want to talk about it.
I think that pretty much said it all. Okay.
There's some good wins for Gonzaga in our 4 years there.
All right, let's fast forward now to today, playing both on the same team, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. I mean, how has that come about? I mean, as far as emotionally now, you're playing for the same team. How do you feel about that?
I feel good. When I first got the phone call from Steve, I was really excited about it, talking with my friends, talking with people from the area, and then I was told that Miguel Gonzalez was also a player of interest for them, and it was something that was really exciting. I never really got to play with him too much growing up, and having him as a teammate now has been awesome. Seeing him and playing against him every day in practice, challenging each other and doing whatever we can to get better.
Yep.
Yeah, it was big, you know, when we found out that we were gonna play here together. You know, I remember him sending a message. He was saying, "You're gonna play there," and I was like, "Yeah." No, it was pretty exciting. Definitely exciting.
Sent him a little message. Didn't know for sure, and then he verified it. It was pretty cool. I was excited.
All right, now we've already talked with the coach about Tulsa. We're not going to go back in time. We're going to go forward in time. What about Vancouver? What are you both thinking about as far as that game?
Since we're both from the Northwest, those are always important games for myself personally, especially teams that have overlooked me in the past, I guess, to go out there and show them that I can play with the big guys in the Pacific Northwest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go and get the result, you know. We're definitely going to try to go. Looking forward for the team and looking at them win.
All right. Well, we wish you great luck, of course. And, of course, you can watch that Vancouver game, of course, on Gazette.com. That'll be on Wednesday. And we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick timeout. We're going to go talking with Coach Steve about the strategy and looking ahead to the Vancouver game as we continue Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Welcome back to Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. I'm your host, Eric Singer, Gazette.com, and this is Coach Steve Trittschuh joining us now to look ahead. We've talked about Tulsa. We're not thinking about Tulsa anymore. We're talking about the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah. Well, this was our last home game when they came here a few weeks ago. Played a really good game here, won 3-0. So, we have to replicate that. Go there and take it to them. So, we're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna have a few changes into the lineup. But
right.
I have confidence in these guys. The Vancouver, they beat Portland last weekend 2-1. So they're on a little bit of a roll. And they haven't changed the team a whole lot. There's a few new players in and out, but the system they play, the shape they play in is about the same. So, they have some good players we have to keep our eye on. But I feel the way we play against this team that we can have success.
A physical team?
A little bit. They like to play the game though, but they can mix it up. They can have possession, move the ball through midfield, or they can be direct. And they have some good forwards with decent speed. The one Schuler up top works very hard to press the game to work on our defense. But like I said, the way we play, I think we'll have good success against them. But now, saying that, I have to have these guys come on the field and do it. We just can't be showing up at games and just stepping on the field and say we're in the top 6 and just show up and play. But they're behind us, so we need to keep them down below, and we need to keep ourselves in playoff position.
In Tulsa, and I hate to go reflecting back on it, first half a little bit sluggish. It was a hot and humid night, and Vancouver, it's going to potentially be a hot and humid night.
Yeah.
How are you going to be focusing, bounce back as far as physicality, because it's a short week for you for training?
Yeah, like I said, and that's one of the reasons why we have to change the players, because they did spend a lot of energy in Tulsa, and it was like you said, it was a hot and humid night. But actually, the weather in Vancouver is supposed to be a high of 70, so and that's more like Colorado Springs, but
right.
Back down at sea level. And so, like I said, the guys that are playing, we get through that first 45, and then we'll address what's going on. But I have confidence in whoever's playing on our team and on the field, and we'll go there and give a good go.
And one thing that the Switchbacks have really strived for under your tutelage has been that aggressive style of play. Keep going, keep going,
Right.
keep going, don't let up. And obviously that's what's going to be happening in Vancouver.
Oh yeah, and I will say in Tulsa we did that in the second half. Like I said, the first 15, 20 minutes we did push the game. But we just dug ourselves too big of a hole, and Tulsa were able to do it. But these guys, they'll do that though. They'll never say die attitude, and I have confidence when we go to Vancouver we'll do that. Because if we can get on top of them early, then we'll be fine. Now if we let them play and let them get into the game,
right.
then we might struggle a bit. So we've got to put our stamp on the game.
Talking about putting that stamp on the game, at this moment you have the opportunity to be able to talk with your fans, to be able to give them that message, because obviously, any kind of prayers, anything can help in any situation, especially in a game like this.
Yeah, no, we'll be fine. I mean, these guys are great. We'll go to Vancouver, give a great effort. That'll be 8 o'clock Colorado Springs time on Wednesday, and then we'll be back here next weekend to see us play Seattle. So please keep supporting us. Send us positive vibes, because these guys, they're great, and they'll do what they have to do on the field.
All right, thank you so much,
Thanks.
Coach, and great luck to you, of course. And you can watch, remember, all away games on Gazette.com. Remember, that'll be Vancouver. That'll be Wednesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so definitely tune in to Gazette.com and watch these guys play at their peak of performance and come back with a W. Thanks for watching Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. I'm your host, Eric Singer, Gazette.com. We'll see you next time.